with the view of the all-new Lufthansa PRA terminal in Frankfurt. Discover big business ideas of entrepreneurs who dare to dream. Take off on the runway to success with ET Now's Paromita Chatterjee.
Hello and welcome to Lufthansa Runway to Success, a brand new series where successful men and women inspire, guide and mentor new breed of Indian entrepreneurs every week. On the show today, we are joined by someone special, a rarity in today's world, the one company man, globally acknowledged as a management visionary and a radical thinker. He is credited with developing the employees first, customers second philosophy. Fortune magazine has hailed him as having the world's most modern management style and included him in its global executive dream team. While London Business School has called him a global leader of organizational innovation. Please join me in welcoming none other than Vineet Nair, Vice Chairman, HCL Technologies.
Thank you.
Hi Vineet, you're looking fit and dapper, if I may say so, day by day.
I was always fit, you're noticing me for the first time.
Okay, you asked me a little bit about that. I'm not going to let you go so easily. Vineet, as I said, it's always great to interact with you, and especially with your approach. It's always refreshing to hear your thoughts. But let's hear a little bit about your journey. I know you've spoken about it many a time, but your journey starting all the way back from HCL, connecting to ComNet, and what really led to a huge industry that it is currently. And what was the approach that you think worked for you?
I think I may be a wrong example because I've led my life knowing what I don't want to do rather than what I want to do. I joined HCL when it was $4 million in revenue, and the reason I joined it is because I didn't want to sell toothpaste and toothbrush and soaps. And Unilever was a big opportunity at that particular time.
Right.
I started ComNet because I didn't want to be part of a legacy organization. I wanted to be part of a startup organization. What I wanted to do, I was not very clear.
In fact, you sort of took a few hesitant steps in terms of taking on board the leadership of HCL, so to speak. In 2004, when Shiv Nadar made you the offer, you actually said no, but then changed your mind in 2005. What transpired in between that made you think again?
So first is in 2004, I had started a new chapter of my life by setting up my foundation called Sampark. And I had decided, along with my wife, to dedicate my life for social innovation. I truly believe that business innovation was good, but if you potentially can do social innovation, it would be fantastic. So when Shiv came in and talked about this, the reason I said no was two. Number one, I think I was not competent because I'd never done it before. He had more confidence in me than I had in myself. Number two, he's a good friend, and this is all he had. And therefore, if I end up destroying it, it would be, it's not something I wanted to do. However, given the situation which HCL was, and I've always heard to what Shiv has said, and if he thought that was the right thing to do, and therefore I ended up doing it. And it worked.
It worked, and it worked so well because you almost reset the rules of the game from all the doubters at that point in time who looked at your business model to where things stand today, where a lot of the established names are almost floundering. What is it that you think you did right, or was it just a lot of luck that you'd attributed to, or you had a clear strategy in mind?
I didn't have a clear strategy, but again, I knew that what's not going to work. I truly believe that people don't make companies, leaders don't make companies, ideas do. And therefore, when I got an opportunity to be part of the HCL team, I was searching for that idea. And the idea could be on the what axis in terms of what do you do, and which occupies our mind quite a lot. But I started thinking in terms of, is there another axis on which we could innovate? And I started looking at how axis. So we asked ourselves three fundamental questions. What is the business we are in to create incremental value for our customers, which our competition can't create? Who creates that incremental value? Our employees. And therefore, what should the business of managers and management be? Obviously, to enthuse, encourage, enable the employees to create the differentiated value so that we can grow faster, and hence the idea of employee first, customer second was born.
But it's easier said than done, isn't it? I mean, we have these big billboards put up, with these values that many companies want to help employees imbibe. but there's a huge gap in between, and especially when you look at the numbers.
I think you have hit the nail on the head, and that's a lot of people I tell that you should know what you will not do. When we said employee, if we had said employee first, I think the strategy would have failed. The moment I said customer second, the priority was very clear. The reason a lot of these strategies fail is because the conviction of making something second is not there. And that's what we don't see. We say customers are also important, shareholders are also. It's like in college, right? Every girl you see and you say, I love you. Somewhere it'll work.
So what's your secret? What's driving you? I read your pieces, we all do. And clearly there's so much of enthusiasm and passion. You're looking to scale the Everest, I think. Is that part
Everest
of it?
Base Camp,
At the Everest Base Camp. That's quite a target. Most of us are just targeting finishing marathons at this stage. So
I think the zest for life. I truly believe I have one life to live, and I want to live it fully, and I don't want to regret any moment. So every decision I take, every minute I spend, is the decision I have taken to spend that minute.
Vineet Nair, it's always, one learns something new every time one interacts with you.
I don't know, I'm learning.
But many young viewers have also written in, and entrepreneurs have written in with their questions. So we chose one question which is going to play out on the screen, and it's coming in from Manbir Kaur, who asks, what is the future of executive coaching in the Indian market? As a senior leader, how do you foresee the adoption of executive coaching in Indian industry?
The best coach for you is the mirror. Stand up in front of the mirror every day and ask yourself, what do you see? Find your true inner self, your strength, your calling. When people go to executive coaching, I have nothing against executive coaching. They outsource understanding themselves. And the executive coach tells you, this is you, oh yes, yes, I didn't know about this. What are you talking about? Don't give that charge to somebody else. Seize it and take control and take charge, and then draw the line wherever you want to draw it.
Well, Manbir, I hope she's listening in closely to those words and to remember them. And for all our viewers who are watching in, Vineet Nair, it's been a pleasure, but we don't stop our journey yet with you. We're in conversation with Vineet Nair on Lufthansa Runway to Success, but after a short break, we'll be joined by 3 budding entrepreneurs who will present their business case to Vineet, and a business expert who will be joining us on the show. Stay with us. Welcome back to Lufthansa Runway to Success. We are here at the Lufthansa Business Lounge at the new Pier A Plus, a quantum leap in passenger comfort. And we are now joined by 3 young entrepreneurs who will share their exciting businesses with Vineet Nair. Now, the show becomes a little competitive as one amongst these 3 will be selected as the winner of this episode and will win himself a Lufthansa business class return ticket to any one of over 250 destinations where Lufthansa flies, including Europe, USA and Canada. He will also qualify for the semi-finals of this season of Runway to Success. The winner of our grand finale will win a mentorship from Canon Partners and TIE, and also a sponsorship to a business program at Cambridge University. A lot of goodies in store for our winner, so let's set the ball rolling. We will invite our 3 entrepreneurs one by one and ask them to present their businesses in a 3C framework. That's company, customer and competition. But selecting a winner will not be an easy task, so we have invited a renowned business expert to help Vineet Nair in deciding the winner of this round. Please join me in welcoming Vani Kola, Managing Director, Kalari Capital. Hi, Vani. Good to see you. Right, Vani and Vineet will be calling 3 contestants on board. So we'll be calling them one by one, and they will be presenting their business case to you, and you have to grade them according to the metrics that has been laid out.
Sure.
Okay, let's not waste any time and call upon our first entrepreneur on the show, Mayank Gupta, COO and co-founder, Educart.
Hi, Mayank.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you.
Mayank, please take a seat. Please start.
Educart is India's leading online education company. We provide high quality and industry relevant certifications and long-term programs at affordable price points, and we cater to the needs of students and working professionals who are looking to differentiate themselves from their peers and have a career aspiration. We were founded in 2011 by myself and my co-founder Ishan. In the past 2 years, we have created programs in areas like retail management, digital marketing, financial management, programming languages, and then we also have international programs with a London-based university called London School of Business and Finance. We also have MBA programs in India, and what we do is we have
promise to the students or working professionals that take the course from you. Is it better salary, a different job that they're aspiring for? What's the promise?
So promise is not a single-fold promise, it's a multi-fold promise. The promise is of career enhancement. When they come to us, they get a good education experience because our core competency is in the delivery of education. Our customers get the promise of knowing the trade better than they did before, and that's why they come to educart.com.
So what is your revenue model, and what is the sustainability of the revenue model?
So our revenue comes from the customer. Customers pay us a fee to enroll in our courses. There are a lot of free courses available online, and free content is also available. Our model has sustainability because we provide certification to a student which proves that the student has taken such training. We also provide a rating of employability with every course. So they have to do assignments and projects and online quizzes. Based on these 3 parameters, we assign them a rating of employment which they can put on their resume.
How many have succeeded after taking your course, right, in actually getting placements through the job portal?
So most of our customers are working professionals who are already working somewhere or the other. We measure that by taking a lot of testimonials from our customers. So the feedback which we get from our people is that they have got promotion because they talked about Educart courses during their interview.
I think we are trying to get to what is unique about your proposition. So in 2 seconds, what is unique about your proposition?
Freedom of education at low cost.
Okay, fine. Thanks, Mayank, for that, and we wish you all the very best.
Thanks, Mayank.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
All the best.
Nice
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Right, that was Mayank Gupta of Educart. Let's call upon our second entrepreneur on the show, and he is Bipin Preet Singh, CEO at MobiKwik. Hi, Bipin.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah?
Please take a seat in the hot seat. Let us speak. Okay. Right, so take a deep breath and let it go.
MobiKwik is a company which is essentially focused on payments. We are India's largest digital wallet company with around 2 million registered users, and we are growing very fast. In the last 1 year, we grew from a 10 crore company to a 100 crore company, and in the next 1 year, we plan to touch 1,000 crore. So our core idea is very simple. You park money into a prepaid wallet, and then you use that wallet to have a consistent payment experience anywhere you go, on the move, on the mobile, on the web. For example, you want to recharge your mobile, use your wallet. You want to pay your insurance premium, you want to order a pizza, you want to book a train ticket on IRCTC, you want to book a bus ticket, you want to book a movie ticket.
What's a competitive advantage against other wallet companies? Which will
competitive advantage is the use case and the way we make it very easy for users to come online and experience the product for their first transaction. All our competitors make it very, very difficult for the users to come aboard. We make it very, very easy.
Let's talk about things that are outside of your control in the context of competitors, right? Because in the space that you are, the timing which you don't control around regulation matters a lot. So where are you today in your guess on getting the timing right in a liberalization of the regulatory framework around payments in order to build this company?
So let me answer that. So the regulator in our space is the Reserve Bank of India, which oversees the Payments and Settlements Act, Department of Payments and Settlements Act. And if you look at the policy changes that they have undertook in the last 1 year, they have become very, very liberal. Earlier, the limit on using a wallet was around 5,000 rupees. Now they have lifted it. Without KYC, you can use a wallet up to 10,000 rupees. And with KYC, you can use it up to 50,000 rupees. A lot of these changes have actually taken place in the last 6 months. So I think we couldn't be more perfect in terms of timing.
Okay, so Bipin, many thanks. MobiKwik, Bipin, we wish you all the best with that venture, and many thanks for making that presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the very best.
Good luck, yeah?
Right, that was Bipin Singh of MobiKwik. There's one more entrepreneur to go on this episode. Will he be able to impress Vineet Nair and Vani Kola? We'll find out after a short break. You're watching Lufthansa Runway to Success on ET Now. Welcome back to Lufthansa Runway to Success. We are here at the Lufthansa Business Lounge at the new Pier A Plus, a state-of-the-art terminal setting new standards in passenger comfort. And we have one entrepreneur left to make his presentation. Then it's over to Vineet Nair and Vani Kola to select the winner of this round. Remember, the winner on today's show gets a Lufthansa business class return ticket to any one of over 250 destinations where Lufthansa flies, including Europe, USA and Canada. The winner also qualifies for the semi-finals. So let's call upon our last entrepreneur on the show. He is Shabir Momin, who is the Managing Director and CTO of Zenga Media.
Hey, Shabir.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Vani. Hi.
Hi, Shabir. Start off with your core premise behind your business.
So basically, I started sometime in 2006, and the whole idea was to build a technology which could stream at low bandwidth, because even advanced countries with 4G is implemented and needed much higher bandwidth to stream. And when you walk down the road, you will end up seeing that you drop from a 4G to a 3G or a 2.5G, so the 2.5G becomes the base. So we ended up building a technology which could stream seamlessly on a 2.5G network. And we debuted in 2009 with IPL, and we delivered over 140 countries in that time. Since then till now, we've ended up launching 150 TV channels, which also includes some international TV channels. We have about 18,000 movies in our bouquets. We've got about 40,000 music tracks in our bouquets. We've got the largest user base in Indian market today. We've got about 22 million unique users, generating about 350 million video views a month. The beauty is the average viewing time is about 6 to 10 minutes, depending on month. What we also managed to do is be able to get high retention. So we've got about 50+% of people coming back to us as return users. And finally, for the last 2 years, we've been profitable, and we're profitable at PAT with a double-digit number.
10 years from now, what are you doing? What's your company doing?
First thing is I'd like to sustain profitability. That's more difficult than getting profitable. Numbers will automatically grow, because the Indian market itself is many million more users to go. It's just 22 million users.
Why should sustainability be an issue?
The sustainability of being able to maintain profitability is an issue.
Because
You need to scale.
So going back to Vineet's question, right, is it because worldwide consumers are moving towards free content, right? So in that world, no matter how many users you get, 20 million or 200 million, is there a business model that you have discovered to have sustainability of profitability, or how do you generate revenue? You have to compete against free content.
You're right, Vani. So I'm on the other side of the table. I'm free content.
Okay.
So we were the first ones to actually believe that free content will work 3-4 years back. And we made an advertisement-based content when the whole world was chasing on operators to make subscription-based services. And while we were waiting for the advertising industry to shape and start giving enough money to sustain a company, we found alternative revenue sources.
Which is what?
Which is like working with mobile handset manufacturers. So they buy licenses from us pre-embedded on their phone, and they give us money.
But in time when there is maturity with advertisers and consumers, smartphone growth and so on and so forth, would the incumbents like Amazon or Netflix or iTunes who haven't entered India, could they come in and could they become your real competitors? Do you have enough time to build a company before they get into the market?
No, so we don't treat them as competitors. We are complementing with them, because if you go to YouTube, you'll find a Zynga's presence there. We also supply content to iTunes. We also supply content to Netflix and all that. So we don't believe that if I own exclusive content, I should only sit and watch it or only show it to my users.
Who is the customer? Is it the NRI who can't access some of the content or is not able to view it on time, or?
So it's 20% international users, right, which are mostly Indian diaspora. 80% Indian users. You'll be surprised, out of the 80%, about 37-38% is metros, about 10 to 12% is tier 2, and the rest of it is rural.
Who are watching this? Okay, Shabir Momin, MD and CTO of Zynga Media, all the best. Thanks. I'm going to ask you to take a seat back. Bye. As we saw, our three entrepreneurs on the show have finished making their presentations, and now it's up to Vineet Nair and Vani Kola to select the winner of today's episode. Now remember, the scoring is done on the 5 parameters. Each parameter carries 20 marks, making it a total of 100. The parameters are core idea, company, customers, competitors, and financial projections. So Vani and Vineet, here you go with the scorecard. So as they work out between themselves which was the contestant who made the best business case and proposition in this particular episode, remember, you, our viewer, also have a chance to win a Lufthansa gift hamper by just predicting today's winner. If you think Mayank Gupta, founder of EduCart, is today's winner, just write RTS space A. For Bipin Preet Singh, CEO of MobiKwik, write RTS space B. And for Shabir Momin, who is heading Zynga Media, all you have to do is write RTS space C and send it as a text message to 58888. Our lines are open, so go ahead and vote now. Well, now that the scoring is complete, I'll request Vineet Nair and Vani Kola to mentor and guide our three contestants and then reveal the score finally to announce the winner. But first, the mentoring.
So, Mayank, what I would like you to think about is building on the uniqueness through partnership. Not doing e-learning on standalone basis, but maybe tie up with the university and add your curriculum as part of the university. And if you partner with them, then your ability to reach more students and build sustainable model will be a lot larger.
Okay, thank you.
Fine.
The one thing I'd leave with you to think about is, if I become your customer, apart from improving my skills, how am I going to measure that? The more you put up measurability of you delivering value to your customers, I think the more you will be able to rapidly scale.
Thank you. We'll take care of that.
Now, our next contestant was Bipin, who is heading MobiKwik.
So, Bipin, two things would be critical for the future. One is a brand, and how you're going to invest in that brand. Being a small startup organization, that's always very difficult. Number two, how you're going to build a unique proposition which is away from only customer acquisition. And
finally, there was Zynga Media with Zynga TV from Shabir Momin.
Shabir, I'm a bit worried. Is it a one-trick pony? And therefore, sustainability long-term cannot be on an idea which arrived earlier. It has to be based on sustainable ideas. And one of the couple of places you need to look at is this whole content creation. So if as innovative you are on distribution, if you can be innovative on crowdsourcing content, then I think you have a fantastic business model which will have competitive differentiators.
I think the challenge for you to think through is, you talked about how you could potentially continue to be a profitable private company. If you accept the premise, which I firmly believe, that the only value proposition sustainable in this space will be being the true leader of the pack, right? If you have to be a leader of the pack, somewhere you have to make a very hard compromise between growth, which requires funding, and profitability, which allows you to stay private.
Okay, Vani, Vineet, thanks for that overview. And contestants, you've had a lot to digest, but now here comes the crunch, which is, who is the winner of this episode? Vineet, I'm going to ask you to reveal the scores.
It was a very difficult task.
Okay.
All of them were fantastic.
So in the order of ranking, from the person who got the lowest score to the highest score, There are only 5 marks difference, so it was very touch and go. Mayank, you come at number 3 position with 57. Bipin, you are at 61. And Shabir, you're very lucky with only 1 point more than Bipin, 62. And you are the winner. Congratulations.
Shabir Momin of Zenga Media is the winner of this episode. Shabir, please join us. Congratulations. Right, at this point in time, I would request Mr. Alan Charco, who's Manager, Leisure Sales and Customer Care, Call Center Business India at Lufthansa German Airlines, to please give away a Lufthansa business class return ticket to Shabir, and which will let him fly to one of over 250 destinations, including Europe, USA, and Canada.
Would like to present you with a business class ticket on Lufthansa.
And I would also request Mr. Charco to kindly honor our special guest, Mr. Vineet Nair, by presenting him with a memento from Lufthansa.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
I would like to present you on behalf of the...
I don't get this as your frequent flyer, but I get it to come on the program, right?
You get.
Thank you.
Congratulations to the winner, and thank you so much, Vineet and Vani, for joining us and sharing with us your insights and guidance to our young contestants who played very well indeed. And that's a wrap on this episode of Lufthansa Runway to Success. We will see you again next week. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.